So I just finished crying because I finally finished this book. For those of you who don't know, this is the most recent iteration of the Hunger Games, a prequel to the original Hunger Games trilogy, but a sequel to the Song of the one that was about President Snow. This one just came out this year, The Sunrise on the Reaping, and this is about Haymitch. If you did not know before, let me tell you that this book further reiterates that the one thing that all revolutionaries have more than a vision, more than compassion, more than a thirst for justice is rage. Is rage. You gotta be so angry to start a revolution. So I'm just gonna quickly catch everybody up that does not know what this series is about or does not fully understand what this book is about. So this is the book that focuses on the story of Haymitch. Who is Haymitch? Haymitch is the tribute from the tribute, the survivor or whatever from District 12 before Peeta and Katniss, the protagonist of the original Hunger Games trilogy, Peeta, the other person to survive the Hunger Games with Katniss. The first time in Hunger Games history that two people survived the Hunger Games. I'm sorry, two children. In this book, you learn all about Haymitch's story, his history, his family, who he was, what happened during his Hunger Games, because a lot got put in motion in his Hunger Games, because he was reaped during the 50th Hunger Games, the second quarter quell. And with each quarter quell, they try to do something a little different, a little spicy. So what did they do for his? Instead of reaping one girl and one boy from each district, they reaped four. So there were 48 children that were reaped in this mega viral, highly publicized television show that's where children slaughter children. 48 children were put into this, and only one would be able to survive. Now, I'm not going to share a whole bunch of spoilers in this video. I'll probably save that for another video. Warning. But the thing that I really want to just resonate, that like really resonated with me when it comes to this book, if you have not read it yet, keep this in mind as you read this book. Strongly recommend. Strongly recommend. One, he never sought out to being a revolutionary. He never sought out to being the person to inspire so many people. He never sought out to he didn't realize that the work that he was doing would lay the groundwork for a Katniss to exist. He was just angry. He was not angry at a specific person. He was angry at a system. And the only reason why, mild spoiler, the only reason why he got reaped in was because he loved somebody. That's all I'm going to share, because he loved somebody. But the actions that he did from being reaped were all a response to the absolute rage. Why the Capitol went after him specifically in this book was because of his absolute rage, anger, fury at the system that he, his cohorts, and all these other children were forced to endure. Now, I cannot for the life, I'm assuming that this is their name. Cardamom Counseling, whoever you are, God bless you, because I have kept this screenshot for years. For years. So, for those of you who are familiar with Inside Out, the story, I'm not going to go into the story behind it, but there are 5 core emotions that are in each person. You have anger, fear, disgust, sadness, and joy. And all of these can interact with others. I love bringing this up when I am meeting new people. One of my favorite icebreakers is, who is in charge of your headquarters? And then just let the conversation start from there. But I want to talk about rage because the whole, the whole spectrum of anger, I think not the whole, a lot of the spectrum of anger is explored in the birthings of a revolutionary. Most revolutionaries don't know that they are being created because they are not born. They are not just like plopped into existence. Revolutionaries are created. And the spectrum of rage is explored. Rage is just anger and anger. It is just anger embodied. And I think that the closest that we get to hope is righteousness. is righteousness, which is the intersection of joy and anger. And that is where you are so enraged at your reality, but it's not a joyfulness. There is a hope that's kind of meshed in there in the, okay, well, this is unjust. This is not right. And if we can right this wrong, then maybe, but there is so much wrong that is happening. There can't be a betrayal of a system. I mean, some people might have, you know who had a betrayal of the system? Effie. Effie had a betrayal of the system, not in this book, not in this book, but Effie, who you get introduced to at some point in this book, you see later on, she thought that the system worked. She drank that Kool-Aid and she's been drinking that Kool-Aid for most of her life. So Effie experienced the betrayal, the sadness meets the rage of the system that she thought was for the betterment of her and everybody. That was not Haymitch's case. That was not Katniss's case. That was not anybody's case that was up for being reaped in the Hunger Games. The disgust, which is, hold up, where is it? Loathing. Loathing. Yes, that also gets explored in here, but that I think is something that is a thing that you experience consistently when you were born in an oppressive system. Hatred, the fear meets the anger. Once again, something that is just when you're born in the system, you know these feelings. And then once you really get deep into that overlap of rage, once you get angry enough, you got to do something. Now, Haymitch was in a situation where he had to do something. It was do something or die. I mean, he already knew. He was like, I'm going to die anyway. And I'm angry. So I might as well do something. There's so many more thoughts that I have on this. I'm really trying to keep it as general as possible so that way I don't spoil things for the people that are not like prepped for that. But I also want to say that within this little corner, when you're about to do something, you cannot expect within the world of being a revolutionary that when you do something that there will not be, that explosions will not happen to those around you. When you go up against a big dog, when you go up against a system of violence, you need to understand that they will systemically enact violence against you. And that violence against you might be at you, but it'll likely be at the people around you. Why? Because it's a system. It doesn't affect just one person. Haymitch didn't know this. He didn't understand. He didn't foresee this until it was too late. And then, all right, I'm pausing. I bring this up because for those of you who want to change the world, that want to do all of these things, that want to go up against these big dogs, against the thing that goes bump in the night, and we feel it throughout the entire apartment, not just in your room, not just against your little closet door. No, the complex shakes. You want to go up against that, please know, and this is not me trying to scare you. All you need to do is look at U.S. history. Look what happened to the Black Panthers. Look what happened to Malcolm X. Look at what happened to MLK Jr. Look at what happened to their legacy. And in thinking about what happened to their legacy, read this book. Read this book. And then read the section where they are recapping what happened in Haymitch's Hunger Games. And then think about who tells your story. Who tells the story? And if not you, then who? And if you decide to, and I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, unfortunately, when you go up, there will be consequences. And these things are evil and they have teeth. Yes, they will come after you. Yes, they will come after your family. Yes, they will come after your career. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a revolutionary. Please don't think that I'm saying that. Absolutely not. I am saying that some of the things there's a reason why I left the United States. There's a reason why I work freelance. There's a reason why why I've created a life for myself in this space, because I know what these things look like long term. I know how these things come after people. I'm sorry, I keep saying things. I know how these people, because these things are just people at the end of the day, and we cannot forget that. But I have a lot more thoughts about, I've got a lot more thoughts about this. So stay tuned for those, and please stay safe out there.